Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior and Community Center. Today we're going to be talking about mindful movement, how mindful activities can help focus people and how that's being used in classrooms around the world. Stacy Hemingway will join us, but first I would like to uh, thank Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island for sponsoring this podcast. Fieldstone offers independent living, assisted living, and memory care on Bainbridge Island. They also have day stay and respite care programs. And if you'd like to come by for a tour, Randy O'Neill or Sierra Wood would be glad to show you around and treat you to a complimentary lunch or dinner. Call 206-594-1010 or check them out online at fieldstonecommunities.com. Also, I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the homeland of the Salish people, specifically the Suquamish tribe, who have lived on these waters and these lands next to the Salish Sea since time immemorial. We honor them and are learning from their stewardship. Stacy, I know that you're coming to us today from Belize. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I know that we're kind of got low bandwidth, so your picture might be a little small, but I think we can hear you fine.
Great.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and about how I think your exploration of yoga and body movement grew into a lot more than that, at least for you?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. This is a real treat to be able to share my passion with your community and listeners. So thank you so much. I started off with an inquiry in my body, and I was pregnant with my first child when I started practicing yoga. That led very quickly into a depth of curiosity of wanting to understand, because I was pretty mobile. I moved a lot when I was young, and when Hana was inside me, and it led to this curiosity behind, what is this movement practice? What is its tradition, its history, its philosophy, all of that. And so it led me down this path. So I've been certified to teach now for the last 28 years. And when my girls were up at the high school, I realized that this could be for everyone. I like to say every body deserves this practice. And so I went down the road of learning how to teach kids yoga, learning how to teach teachers kids yoga. And really, then, because I'm an aging body at this stage in my life, and I wanted to learn more about what was going on up here and how that showed up in the world for me personally, and how I could share that with others. So, I had a big idea during COVID that this idea should be real for everybody, and that's really when the big idea, the big vision, came to me. We produced this beautiful guidebook, the Conscious Classroom. This is yoga specific guidebook.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have migrated to an online platform for teachers, coaches, counselors, homeschool environments, club environments, for all bodies. And we highlight students because that was initially our group to engage with, and yet we see value in a mindful movement can support all parts of our bodies. It starts with what we call the vagus nerve, or what science calls the vagus nerve, and how that relates to almost every organ in our body. And it serves our heart rate and our flow of the body, and how we feel emotionally in our body. It supports our nervous system and how we can regulate in the amygdala, the emotional center in our brain. So there's a lot of incredible practices that we bring forward through Conscious Classroom. And yet we encourage even your listeners to support themselves through mindful practices, mindful movement, breath work techniques, meditation practice, all kinds of things to
So
support our bodies and minds.
when you mentioned the vagus nerve, and it's one of those things that we probably don't think of until we get a wake up call. I know my younger child, no longer a child, but had a vagus syndrome or whatever, where they sort
Mm.
of almost seemed to lose consciousness, um, where the vagus nerve appeared to slow them down in a hurry.
Yeah, yeah. It
And I think
really,
that, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, I
Okay, I
just
would.
wanted yeah, you first.
I was just going to say that I think that there's a lot about our bodies that if we don't, our bodies and our minds, maybe that's a duality that is artificial, um, but that there's a lot that we don't pay attention to until a rude awakening. And I think that maybe some of the work that you're doing may be focused on the idea that you can awaken less rudely and to greater benefit if you start to think about those connections today.
Well, I chose Conscious Classroom wisely. And my friends were like, what happens if people misspell conscious? I said, well, then we'll help them with their spelling. But I feel that, we're here to expand our conscious awareness at any time and stage in life. We have a tendency to become very programmed, and the subconscious supports that beautifully. But it is up to us to expand what we see and what we choose to see in the world, how much we can see when we open our eyes. It incorporates all the senses, how much can we smell? How much can we taste? What are we really listening to? How are we feeding the mind and body? And and our systems get wholly supported through just slowing down and becoming more aware.
So that is the first and most important thing to focus on, it sounds like, is slowing down.
Yeah, the mind has a tendency to operate at a very high frequency. It's referenced as beta, which is a very high functioning mind. We're busy, and yet it's efficient when it is. But when we start to feel symptoms, overrun, chronic stress, different abilities start to show up in our bodies, that's when we need to start to pay attention. Being able to drop the frequency of the brain to an alpha state, which is, let's say, just a very depth of focus breathwork practice, a mindfulness practice, meditative practice, relaxation state. We can create massive benefits for ourselves. And this is really where that conscious awareness starts to open up and expand, because we can move beyond anxiety and ruminating on negative thoughts, or what I like to reference and science reference as the default mode network, where the brain has a tendency to go when it's underutilized. And it traditionally is not a positive place. So if we can pause, slow down, we love to encourage a response versus a reaction. And isn't that, what we would all hope to be able to provide in life? And just make better choices for our future, for ourselves.
So, yeah, oh, and I can see that that makes sense to do as early as you can in life, which is why starting with younger students makes a lot of sense. But it's a value all our lives. I know that one of the things about our modern world with our phones and technology like we're using today, there's just so many um, ways to just slip into that default mode and not notice it.
Yeah. Yeah, discipline, I feel is like our muscles, like our mind. The more we use it, the easier it becomes, the more comfortable it feels, the more normal it feels. And so being able to, walk away from distraction, remove distraction from our environments, just noticing what we fall into habitually or pattern wise is really key. And when we pause and slow down, we can start to then become aware of those things that are taking over that we haven't placed attention on in our past, and we've just allowed them to happen as the usual. But you can really, I believe that you can direct and design a life that suits you when you bring back that state of consciousness and move beyond the subconscious behaviors, so that life really becomes what you choose it to be.
So you've captured you held up earlier a physical curriculum, but you captured a lot of this work. There we are again. You've captured a lot of this work online as well. And if somebody's interested in learning more, is that the uh, best way to find out?
Yes, consciousclassroom.com is our website. We have an incredible, what I see is very valuable email offering that we send out on a weekly basis. That's the best way to start getting yourself familiar with our work. We have just come away from our four pillars: awake, aware, align, and activate. So the activation comes up next week. In November, we'll be starting with our breathwork series. And we include breath practices, we include journal prompts, meditations, all sorts of things like that. Just really quick and easy. It starts with something small and it grows to something that you choose for it to be. So you get to decide how much you want to be involved. We offer three different levels of our work with Conscious Classroom. We have a breathwork curriculum. We have a mindfulness and meditation curriculum. And then we have the incorporated, both of those two incorporated to the yoga for PE and health curriculum. And so three different ways of getting into our world, but it starts with potentially the emails so that you can just build your own practice in a nice, easy way with us. But I feel like this is, something that should be shared as a birthright. And it's unfortunate that, it takes years of study to, I wouldn't call myself a master, but I love what I do. And I'm very passionate about journeying in my own body and sharing it with people. I'll just let you know that we are in the transition of becoming a nonprofit, which is where my heart has truly been the whole time. And being able to work with schools and environments, just areas of need to get access and get their hands on these beautiful jewels that I see, nuggets of goodness to help them with their life
So
skills, human skills. Yeah.
yeah, so as you've stated a couple times, a lot of your focus is on trying to help or working with educators to help them become uh, leaders in their classroom or in their groups. You mentioned organizations, social groups, clubs. So I'm wondering, is the material that's online both some of it for individuals and for educators or people who are working with larger groups?
Yes, absolutely. It can be interpreted as you choose. We have offered what we call a pacing and fidelity guide so that teachers can fit it into a semester style curriculum, annual style curriculum. It can be taken at the pace that you choose. We offer audio, video, journal prompts that support every lesson plan. There are 12 breathwork lesson plans, 10 I believe, mindfulness and meditation, and then 60 total in the whole platform and the whole program.
So you started this, you said, because of your own experience of working both as a first as a pregnant person and then raising your children. And I guess you did a lot of work at the Bainbridge schools as a way to kind of work some of these things out. Can you say more about that?
Sure. Yeah, I've had a really nice journey with a lot of schools on Bainbridge Island, and my kids walked from Pilar was first grade, Hana fourth, and they went the whole way through the system on the island. And when I believe 2015 was the year that I took over the yoga club at the high school and got to work with a lot of students there, realizing that I wanted to get in front of more kids. So I worked with a few of the teachers to offer several week-long practices within classes that were already available. Then I was very bold as a parent, trying to present that they should have this as a master class on their schedule. It got overlooked for a couple of years, and then I joined forces with another teacher who immediately got it accepted as a class up at the high school. The kids were absolutely, drawn to it, magnetized to it, loved the practice. There's so much feedback from students to say how this has given them life skills, how this has made them excited about learning, how this has, opened their mind up to their body and the systems of their body, and really helping them deal with peers in their community, stressors in their outside of school life, and just benefits beyond. So I love it when I get to hear how the kids feel about this, because that's really, what it boils down to. The kids are going to step out into our community and be really well-rounded humans.
We found that just an immediate affinity or response to programs that we've offered here through the Senior and Community Center, like a sound bath program,
Mm.
which is a meditative opportunity, guided meditation classes with folks, and certainly yoga and stretching. And I feel like this is a structure that puts around that and says, okay, how can I build on those initial experiences?
Yeah,
So I want to thank you very much for introducing us to Conscious Classroom, for taking the time, and certainly stop by. And I'd love to talk to you about how we do things here and how you might be able to help us a little bit with that.
I love that. I have some big ideas that I'd love to keep sharing with you. So I appreciate this time with you. Thank you for the conversation.
You're welcome. And I see I have a couple of people who are just joining, unfortunately, as we're wrapping up. But I will share this video with them, and
Great.
and thank you for your time.
Lovely. Thank you. I appreciate this conversation. Happy to
Okay,
share.
good. Until we talk again, have a good day.
Lovely, Reed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank